Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ciara, and please do remember, if you do not like what I say, how I say it, or why I say it, then please do feel free to click off this video and go about the rest of your day in peace. And so we're back again with another pick a card reading, and this is one that was suggested by one of you lovely souls out there. And so the topic of this one is more about your future spouse, you know, what you need to know about your future spouse. And specifically, we're going to be pulling charms for this reading in particular. So let me go ahead and introduce the piles to you. And so I'm going to give you guys kind of two different ways of choosing the piles. Of course, you can choose by the stones we have here. So for pile 1, we have the green fluorite. For pile 2, we have the opalite. For pile 3, we have labradorite. And for pile 4, we have this reticulated quartz. So the other way you guys can choose your pile is, some of you really liked me showing some of my artwork to choose piles in one of my previous videos, so I decided to do that again. So for the image for pile 1, we have this one. So that would be pile 1. Pile 2 has this one. For pile 3, we have this particular image. And for pile 4, we have this one. So again, use whatever method you prefer to choose and use your intuition to, you know, select the pile that is going to give you the most accurate, but still, of course, general reading for you in this regard. And so you can either choose again by the stone or by the specific artwork image that I had created. And so with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the piles. All right, for all of you who chose pile 1 with the green fluorite and this particular artwork image I created, let's go ahead and jump into your reading. And so we're actually going to start with pulling the charms. So let's go ahead and see what you guys need to know about your future spouse. So more about group 1's future spouse. Okay. So, of course, we have one of these blue bottles, which I've seen you guys' comments about this because some of you always get this. And so let's go ahead and see what the additional messages are that we have here before really diving into all of these. So we have the gate to happiness is self-compassion. We also have prosperity is within us. Grace is kindness, compassion, and caring. Your potential self is infinite. We also have innocence in time, once lost, can never be regained. 7, 18, 27, 31, 38, and 41. So take note of those particular numbers, because that might be significant to something about your future spouse, as well as the number 111, because I just saw that. So, you know, this could be maybe a birthday, the month they're born, numerology in their chart, whatever it may be. And so definitely this is somebody who doesn't, I'm getting the message, they don't dwell on the past, especially since they've probably experienced some not so great things in their past with this barnacle shell being here. So, you know, they might have dealt with a lot of psychic vampires growing up. But they know it's all a cycle. Definitely, for sure. They all know it's a cycle. They also know they're about commitment. They like commitment. They have a very wishful attitude. They are very much in tune with their intuition, I feel like, to their darker aspects, but they know how to balance it correctly. They might be very prosperous, or they come from a very prominent family, I'm feeling. Their solar plexus chakra is very dominant. They're very much about personal power. They're very much about balancing of aspects. Very lucky, I feel like, very gifted. Like, they have a lot of spirit guides or like elementals or fae, just like, and they might not even be aware of it. They might not be able to see it, but you might be able to see it around them. Again, very lucky, very romantic. I'm feeling like they enjoy a lot of prosperity, but they don't like to sit still. They like movement. They have a gentler side to them. They like gentle things. They like things that need to be protected, I feel like. Very, very strong, powerful energy coming through. They might have a very interesting style, or they might take a lot of care in their physical appearance. They're very communicative. Again, I feel like it's like weird. It's like they have a lot of like mystical abilities about them, but they might not be completely aware of it. They might be like kind of shrug it off like, oh, that's just how I've always been or whatever. Like I don't feel like this person is particularly like religious or like completely over on the logical side. They're kind of like, again, they really like balance. They're very much about like kind of that temperance energy, I feel like. But let's go ahead and get into your cards in particular. Let's see what is going on there. And so starting off with the tarot cards that I pulled, look at this. We have the Ace of Cups as well as the Star card. So yeah, this person is all about new beginnings, new possibilities. There's a potential here that they could either be a water sign, so a Cancer, a Scorpio, a Pisces. It's definitely strong potential for a Pisces, I feel like, with this image, or they're an Aquarius, or they have both of those strong placements somewhere in their chart. Again, with this Ace of Cups, they're very emotional, they're very creative. They like to drink deeply from whatever cup they're currently holding, I feel like. They're very gifting, they're very giving, they like to take care of others. They have this natural healing energy about them. And I just feel like this person isn't even aware of what they're doing. It's just like something they do. They have this aura about them. Again, they're very prosperous. You know, they're all about replenishment. I feel like the image of like a snake shedding its skin. Like they're constantly shedding that skin. They don't let bad things hold them down for very long. They like to stay happy. They're very sincere about their feelings and how they express themselves as well. So let's also talk about this particular Star card. This, of course, is from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. So this might give you guys some insight about how they are on more of their sexual side. This is more of like their general personality, I guess you could say, while this is maybe that aspect of it, if you want to read it that way. Again, you guys are free to read these cards however you would like as I present them, but I'm going to tell you what I'm getting off them, of course. So with the Star here, it's all about attraction, the magic of the union. An action aimed at attracting with no obligation brings sincerity. Again, we have sincerity coming up twice. Again, this person is very sincere. And relieves the soul of pettiness. It is only a romantic invitation to love. The rest will come spontaneously. Again, this person, they don't like to rush relationships. They like to take their time. I also feel like they really do not like petty people. Like they're very much against that. I also feel like they're going to be very attractive as well, just naturally, whether it's like their physical body or it might be both their physical body and their aura is going to be very attractive to other people. I definitely feel that. So let's see what else we have here going on in the cards. So next up, we have some animal spirits that I pulled to represent maybe the animal spirits that best represent your future spouse here. And so we have the oyster, another water element, and another air element with the moth here. Again, very mysterious with that moth. So let's go ahead and get more in depth with this. You know, and also with the oyster, it's like, yeah, it's like a hidden gem inside of this particular person. You may not expect it. They have this way of controlling, I think, their energy where it's like sometimes it's in and sometimes it just like explodes out. Interesting. So let's talk about the moth. This is talking about impulsive, hasty, and wishful. The moth is sure that the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. It's helpful to remind moth personalities that life is complex. No matter the illusion, no matter it's exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easier or different. So when this kind of energy is in balance, you know, this is about being enthusiastic, being whimsical. So that's definitely a big part of this person's personality. When it's out of balance, you know, idealizes others, jittery kind of energy. And how to bring it back into balance is by finishing a project. So this person might struggle a lot with that. Like their attention is pulled in all these different opportunities or potentials. And so sometimes they can finish projects half finished. And so somebody who can get them grounded in that way might be very beneficial. So let's go ahead and talk about the oyster here. And this is talking about being patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. See, didn't I say that? The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve it with grace and charm. Again, I felt like there was going to be some contradictory energy. Like this person, they struggle a lot with their inner balance, I feel like. And so, you know, the only problem is oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires and life's work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. So when this is in balance, you know, it's talking about feeling blessed, generous, masterful. When out of balance, you know, reluctant, griping, clams up. And how to bring it into balance is by sharing something. So this person, it might be kind of difficult to get them to open up at first. They might be very, I don't know why the moon card is coming to mind, but like, it's not that they're necessarily being deceptive. It's just like, I feel like from things that this person has experienced in the past, they know not to reveal everything right off the bat until they know that they can trust you completely, that you are completely sincere as well. And so let's go ahead and look at the next cards we have. These are some messages from the Fae. And so we have card 63 here, as well as the Dark Lady, which, let's see. These particular cards do have reversals, and I don't know why, but I feel like maybe I don't normally read reversals all the time. It just depends on the deck and what I'm feeling, but I feel like maybe that Dark Lady is supposed to be in reverse. So let's go ahead and see what she's saying in particular. This is card 20. And so in the reverse, you know, when we block the Dark Lady, we may be frantically active, occupying ourselves with the outer world and ignoring the call of the world within. We may be resisting profound change and renewal. In order to keep our feelings repressed and hidden from ourselves, we may become aloof, cold, and inaccessible, holding back from others as a way of holding back from ourselves. See, that totally matches up with the oyster right there. And even look at the colors right here. Okay, so that's why that was meant to be that way. That's the message for sure. When we twist her living process within us, we may experience sexual blocks or frigidity or impotence or some other form of disability in making connection with others and with the source of being. At worst, we use the magic of the inner realms for the purpose of distraction or manipulation, becoming black magicians. If we choose to do this, which is the closest thing the fairies know to an unforgivable sin, we may harm others, and we shall certainly do very serious damage to ourselves. So this is something this person is going to struggle with a lot. So that's just something to be aware of. It might be some way that you're going to recognize this person because they're going to be so hard to kind of like get their walls down. And so next up we have the Indie, which is indecision, wishy-washy, commitment, decision-making. And so it's decision time to make up your mind, make a decision, then stick with your commitments. Going back to that moth right there. Set yourself a definite time period to complete your decision. Write down to the day and hour. Give yourself time to put the decision into practice before it's too late. Once the arbitrary but carefully judged decision time is set, ask for guidance for your highest good. Then weigh, consider, ponder, and gather information. If we do this, and if we have asked for aid, the answer seems somehow to fall magically into place at the appointed time. Then it's just a matter of trusting that answer and carrying it through. We can ask for help with that as well, if we wish. It is willingly given. So again, this person might struggle a lot with making decisions or sticking to plans, sticking to, you know, commitments of their projects. Again, I just feel like that's something, you know, everybody's going to have positives and negatives and challenges that they have to overcome. And so that's just something that this person is going to have to deal with for sure. So let's go ahead and keep going and see what other cards we have here that Spirit wanted to tell you about your particular future spouse. And so next up, we have the crystal that I pulled in regards to how your relationship with your future spouse is going to be. Like what kind of energy we have going on there. And look, we have the amethyst card right here. So this is a really, I think, beautiful energy to have. Amethyst is just, it's interesting because we had this little charm and I didn't really think much of it, but looking at it kind of looks like an amethyst, doesn't it? So there you go. And there was a lot of purple that's appeared here as well. So that might be a significant color in regards to this person. Maybe they really like the color purple, or maybe you do, and that's something that they'll find attractive. Let's see. Amethyst, familiarity, unconscious habits, old patterns in need of being released. So relationships can be like a comfortable pair of slippers well broken in, but amethyst is here to awaken you to the exciting possibility of an even richer partnership or relationship with someone you feel a connection to. Step out of the same old and into a new way of interacting, perhaps something as basic as saying thank you or I love you more often, or speaking your truth with love and conviction, even in relation to seemingly trivial things. Big journeys of healing start with small steps, such as asserting your need to be listened to, even when saying something that might make someone you care about uncomfortable, or to pause when someone is giving you new information that might make you feel defensive. The energy of rediscovery is calling you to deepen your trust and intimacy. Don't be shy. You can do this. So yeah, again, I feel like that lines up with kind of the other energies that we're talking about for your future spouse. Like they might be kind of shy. And so it's all about really communicating, opening up. I definitely feel like this connection, it's going to feel very comfortable. It's not going to feel, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of unease. It's just a matter of once you're in, your marriage or your relationship, however you want to put it, for your future spouse, it's like, make sure that you guys keep making things exciting. I feel like is a message there as well. So next up, we have another card to help you understand more about your future spouse, and we have the King card here. So authority and diplomacy. Again, I was talking about this person has a lot of power about them, and again, they might come from a very prominent family. Hell, it might even be a family line. For some of you, again, this is not going to resonate for every single person, but potentially they come from like a royal line. And again, there's like so many different kinds of royals out there in the world, and like so many different I don't know, ranks, is that the right word? A part of that line, again, it could be a very old bloodline, but there could be an element like that about this person. It could potentially be a very dominant male, or, this person has a very strong masculine energy about them, whether they're male or female, whatever their gender may be. It's just they have that kind of authority. A distinguished and wise man, the King is a natural leader who can assess and take charge of any situation. He is at times a lawmaker and judge and must balance power with diplomacy. The King also represents great riches and inheritance. So again, this person's going to have, I feel like they're just going to have like a good set of like money already set aside, inheritance, if you want to refer to it as that. Again, a lot of riches that is come from a family line. So let's see what else we have. Look, we have knowledge. Let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of the ancestors flow. So again, a lot of this knowledge comes from their ancestors. I also feel like that goes into what this card was talking about, being potentially like a lawmaker, being a judge. This is somebody who really likes knowledge. They like learning, they like communication. Even if they might be a little closed off or a little shy, it's like they don't say everything that they know. Like they like, for some of you, your future spouse likes to be underestimated so that they can kind of spring it on people. The next card we have here is letting go. Allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. So again, I'm saying again a lot. This person has experienced a lot of harsh things, but they've used that wisdom, that knowledge to, make themselves stronger. And at times they might struggle to let go of those things. They might hold on to it like this barnacle holds on to whatever surface it's attached to. But so again, I feel like for some of you, it's like they really struggle with letting go and they kind of bottle it all up with the oyster. But for others of you, it's like your future spouse has mastered this. So it's the same energy. It's just different levels of maturity with it for some of you when it comes to this. Also, look at it. I can't believe what's been in these cards. I didn't look at the cards before I did the reading. And so next up, are you kidding me? We have Homeland, which is all about foundation. It's about your familial lineage. And I'm I shouldn't be surprised that it popped up in this particular reading, since it's like so much of this feels like, family inheritance, an important family line. And so, it's a message of visiting your childhood home. Honor any feelings you have about your past. Face up and accept where you come from. Your past is catching up with you. A foreign land stirs something within you. Investigate your family tree. Look toward home for answers. So I feel like, a lot of what this person's experienced probably comes back from their childhood around their family. And so they might struggle with that letting go aspect of the past. Also, it's for you guys, for watching this, you might meet your future spouse in a place that's like your childhood home, or it's related to like homeland for your family line. Like, say most of your family lineage comes from Germany or something. And so you go to Germany and you meet this person there. There's some sort of connection like that. A foreign land stirs something within you. It could also be related to past lives. So if you feel a strong attraction to a certain land, like let's say Norway, like you're just like, you never visit Norway, but you've always been obsessed with it since you were like young, and it just keeps calling to you. It's probably tied to a past life. And so there's a tie between you and that feeling and your future spouse, I feel like, is the message here. So let's go ahead and see what we have next. And look at this. We have the indecision card, but it's in reverse. So that's a good sign. Because again, we've had that pop up a lot, is, the message that this person can be pretty indecisive sometimes. Going back to what I said with these particular cards, it just matters on the level of maturity and like growth for this particular person, like how bad it is, like if they're super indecisive or if they're getting more into this energy right here. Because this is pretty positive when it's in the reverse. So when it's in reverse, it's talking about congratulations. This card reversed indicates a newfound freedom from indecision. You have either recently made or are just about to make an important decision. This is an important time, so bring a clarity of consciousness to your new direction. The fragmented and confused energy that you've been sending out is gone, and now you can bring new structure to your plans and your life. You may not have known what to do in the past, but your soul has been trying to guide you all along. Open up to the potential of this time and create some clear and powerful intentions regarding your new choice. Then let yourself move forward with purpose and personal power. So it could be even like at this present moment, whenever it is you're watching this video, your future spouse is about to make a huge decision, and they might have been, hemming and hawing about it for a long time, but they're finally, deciding to go with it, whether it's something about acquiring new knowledge or letting go of something from the past. I feel like travel might be involved. And so let's go ahead and see what we have coming up here next for the cards. And so this is a card that I kind of pulled to represent maybe their dark side. And so we have her last day in the light, unexpected endings, surprise changes, sudden shifts. So this person might go through a lot of shifts, go through a lot of changes, and it can be either positive or good. So for these particular cards, there's a blessing side and a curse side. And so I will go ahead and read both. Because again, I was pulling these particular cards with the intention of like, what is their dark side? So like, what is it? And again, their dark side, that doesn't necessarily mean something negative. It's just sort of a hidden aspect within them, almost like their shadow self, I guess you could say. So for the blessing side of this card, it's prepare for change. If you're currently in the darkness and the soul is wearying and aching, take hope, as you will soon emerge into the light again, a risen one. And the miracle of life, even if the past lies in ruins, will be the greatest blessing for you to behold. And the simplest of companions of the day will bring you the greatest of joys. The curse side of it is being unprepared for change means you could be shocked and disrupted by the unexpected. But this is also a great time to test your skills and your beliefs. You'll be able to handle this change and move through it with grace, no matter how difficult it may seem. Know that change is a healthy part of life, and even the most difficult and harsh shifts in our lives can create the perfect conditions for our own development and transformation. This person, I'm feeling like for some of you, your future spouse might be very resistant to change. They might struggle a lot with change. Again, struggling with letting go. Or it's the opposite, where it's like they change so much that it's like they need to learn how to balance themselves better, to stay consistent, stick to projects, stick to plans, stop changing your mind. I feel like it's kind of the message coming through here. So Finally, we have the last two cards that I pulled here for you guys, and this is sort of the archetypes that best represent your future spouse. So we have the mentor and we have the mediator, and these have both light and shadow attributes. So for mentor, the light attributes are passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. The shadow aspects are inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. Mediator, the light attributes are gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Shadow attribute, negotiating with an ulterior motive or a hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Again, I feel like that goes back to that king card where it was talking about being, potentially a lawmaker, a judge. This is something this person does. Their work is related to being kind of a mediator, trying to negotiating, being, diplomatic. They might work in, something with diplomacy. But also it's like they have this potential to be a mentor. They might be a little bit older or just like more matured in their career to the point where it's like people look up to them for guidance. Again, they have a lot of knowledge to pass on because they've worked very hard. They've experienced a lot. But again, sort of the shadow attributes on there can be having alternative motives, not revealing all the truth, kind of like the oyster again. Having hidden agendas to what it is they're doing, what it is they're thinking, or maybe it just comes off that way. It's like because they're not sharing all the time. Sometimes they are closed up like that clam or that oyster, and it seems like they have a hidden agenda because of that. But really, it's like they have all these hidden treasures that they need to share with other people. So yes, that is pretty much everything I'm seeing here in the cards. Again, this was more of a reading more about your future spouse, not necessarily about, what they look like or even specifically when you are going to meet them. But again, if that information was coming up, I would, of course, let you guys know that. But yeah, I definitely feel like they have a strong family line. They've had a lot of mentors in their life, some that have been good, some that have been bad, and that's really shaped how they handle that situation. They might have acted as a mediator within their own family to handle squabbles. Sometimes they can really struggle with indecision, but it's like they have a lot of prosperity. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of curiosity. So yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this reading resonated with you, please do leave a like on this video, comment down below, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you do not want to miss any future videos. And if you would like to get a personal reading with me or me and my Pisces twin, that info is always down in the description. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. For those of you who picked pile 2 with the opalite in this particular image, let's go ahead and jump into messages about your future spouse, what you need to know, and we of course are going to start off with the charm. So what does my group 2s need to know about their future spouse? What do they need to know? What do they need to know? All right, let's go ahead and look into these a little bit more closely. And so see what the additional informations we have here is. An admirer is concealing their affection for you. So again, your future spouse might actually be for some of you, might be in your current life. They might be holding a lot of affection for you. What belongs to you shall come to you. Don't worry so much about, is your future spouse, are you going to meet them? Is this the right person? Is that the right person? Like, relax, because what belongs to you shall come to you. So if that person is meant to be you, if they're meant to be your future spouse, then they will come to you. So don't stress so much about it. So we also have, it's not talking of love, but living in love. That is everything. Also with this one we have, you will always live happy if you live with heart. And there is a little look at that, and that was the charm stuck in here. It's a little heart-shaped peace sign. So again, that totally goes hand in hand right there. And so live by your inner knowledge and strength. So we have both of these. So again, I feel like communication is really important. A message coming through, make sure that you're communicating clearly. We also have this one, again, a lot of divine timing, good luck, your spirit guides, you know, the fae, whatever it may be, are definitely, they're orchestrating this meeting, this connection. You know, so it could be that your future spouse might be in a time of seclusion. They might be kind of hidden, I feel like, for a moment. Enjoy every day. Again, they're all about living in the moment. We have a potential zodiac sign here, so Leo. So generous. So they could potentially be a Leo, have Leo somewhere in their natal chart, or they're just a very generous person. Very loving, huge heart. Again, they kind of wish on a star. They're very adaptable, but they're very sensitive at the same time. They like to see things clearly. Again, the communication is very important. Balance is very important, the yin and yang. They could be very much into yoga or some sort of meditative practice. They're very chill, I feel like. Very much connected to their heart and their root chakra. Have a lot of wisdom about them. I knew this term was going to come up. Again, there's sort of this very alluring air about them. They might have a very beautiful voice. Very like seductive. They have this strong connection to their sensuality, but they don't like flaunt it. They could potentially be into, you know, Wicca or be a practicing witch. They enjoy comfort. They enjoy warmth in their home. Again, a lot of fire energy I'm feeling like. Let's go ahead and also get into your tarot cards and oracle cards here. So it's so funny because when I was talking about I was holding up that, even though we have Leo here, I was like, oh, this kind of is making me think of Taurus energy. And look, we have the King of Pentacles. So this potentially could be a earth sign as well. So Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. And we also have the Eight of Wands. And look, there's all this food and stuff. So again, this person really likes food, I feel like. I don't know why. It's just that's what's coming out here. And so, you know, this person, they're very stable. I feel like they don't worry about money because they know how to manifest it for themselves. But it's like, I'm not necessarily getting the feeling that they're like overly, like extremely wealthy. They're just very successful. You know, they have a certain level of realism about them. You know, they could be an entrepreneur, you know, a specialist in whatever field they are. You know, they have strong leadership qualities. They can manage things very well. Especially managing money and multiple, you know, having multiple incomes. So again, very much into that entrepreneur side. They have like a lot of different avenues that they're using. Very creative energy, I feel like. You know, very competent in what it is they're doing. And so as far as this one here with the Eight of Wands, again, very communicative, very passionate. Earth and fire energy is what I'm getting for sure here. And so for this particular deck, you know, this is, of course, the Tarot of Sexual Magic. So this is more of the sensual side of things, the sexual side. So this could be something this person, they might really like food play or something like, you know, incorporating food, kind of eating off your body or something like that. I'm definitely getting something about, you know, if you're a woman watching this, they might really enjoy your breast. I feel like, you know, that's coming. This person is very sensual. Like they got that going on for sure. But for this, it's talking about savoring the magic of the swallows. Pleasure in and of itself is like the essence of springtime. Savoring eroticism as a pastime allows you to have some breathing room here. So again, this person loves to savor. They like to take their time. This is somebody I think who's going to really like foreplay. They're going to be very into that. Again, they like to drag it out as long as they can because they like to savor it. I don't know why I'm getting like so much like sexual energy, like information, but it's like they're going to like, again, if you're like well, whether you're a man or woman, it's like they're really going to like your juices, if you get my drift there. Yeah, I'm getting the message like eating you out. Like I don't know why. It's like that's just like what I'm getting. Like they're all about the mouth. Moving on. And so the next card we have here is the particular animal spirit that I pulled in regards to, you know, what animal might represent this particular person. And we have the unicorn. Like, holy shit, this person is your unicorn. It just makes you think of supernatural. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this person, they're just like, I don't know, they're just gonna blow you off your feet. Is that the right saying? I don't even know anymore. Like this energy here is just like making me, even when I was pulling the card, I was like, I started like giggling, like laughing. Like this person just has this fun personality about them. And interesting, it's like we keep having a lot of imagery with horns. Even like the particular one I pulled here, I picked the image before I pulled the cards, and you know, this character I drew has a horn, so it's like this person's horny. If you catch my, like, I don't know why that just keeps coming. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the energy with this one is just funny. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about the unicorn before I just like go into a giggly fit, because this is like what this person is making me, what I'm getting off this person. But your future spouse. The unicorn here is about reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplative contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from, and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power, and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experience. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. This person, this is so what they're about. That's kind of what I was getting off here. Even though it's like we have this king, this like person is very rational. You know, they're a realist, but it's like they've had connections. They've had this experience to like things of the unexplainable, you know, the supernatural, the higher powers that be. And it's like they want to find the answer to it. Like, what is it? They have this thirst, this curiosity for it. So yes, let's go ahead and pull more cards here and get more information. So the message from the Fae here is card 4. So let's go ahead and see what this is particularly talking about in regards to your future spouse. And I see the words, the font here is a little difficult to read sometimes, I will admit, but I definitely see the word sword there. And again, we had this particular charm, which I kind of think of as the Ace of Swords. So communication coming through again. But this is card 4, so what is it? He of the fiery sword. Very Archangel Michael right there. The active principle, spiritual will, justice, and protection. So this is the presence of the fiery sword's master in a reading can indicate that there is a need for clear and focused will and determination to carry through on decisions, even if much effort is required. Or he can tell us that such will and strength is present in regard to the issues under consideration. We need to consider how he is expressing his will and strength and how that expression may be enhanced or improved. It is the singer's energy that enables us to burst the bonds of an outgrown way of being and move on the next level. He indicates that this is a time to take action based on clear spiritual will. His presence indicates great strength and great potential for good. It also reminds us that if we call upon him, we will receive assistance. The presence of this card in a reading radiates strength and willpower to the cards around it. So, yeah, this person, they're very firm in pursuing knowledge. I feel like, what is the word that I'm getting here? They want to know more. Basic answers are not like, they don't like the unknown. Basic answers are not enough for them. They want all the details. So the next cards that we have here are the crystal cards that I pulled in regards to like, what is the relationship between you and your future spouse? And so we have, let's see if I can say this. Adrian? No, that's not that word at all. What? Maybe that's their name. Maybe for some of you, your future spouse's name is Adrian. I don't know. Whatever. We have this stone here. I'm not going to even... And we have orange sapphire. So let's go ahead and see what the relationship messages are here. So this is card 1, and we have card 41. And so this is talking about integrity, solidarity, inexplicability, impeccability, reliability, and consistency. So do you struggle with trusting others? You need to trust yourself first. The Spirit is calling you to be confident, for you deserve to trust yourself, trust the universe, and be true to yourself. Your strength and integrity will inspire others to show up as strong and reliable too. So be impeccable with your words. Consistently assert the values you hold dear and your right to be your unique self. Again, that's what I was kind of getting, like, I didn't want to say it, but like social justice warrior, like that's kind of a little bit of the vibe of this person for maybe some of you. Like they're going to really stand up for their values and their beliefs, and they're going to like get up on that soapbox and like preach about it, and it's not maybe to that extreme, but like, because they know, like this person, it's like if they have a certain belief, if they have a certain value, it's not just some flippant thing that they decide, oh, I'm going to believe in, without doing the research, testing out the theories, making sure that there's like, that when this person believes in something, it's like, you're going to have a hard time arguing, because they're going to throw up all the facts. They're going to throw up everything. They're going to cite their sources about it. And again, it's going to be, I feel like this person is really good at presenting their argument and convincing others of it. So, and they're going to be very unique. I'm also getting kind of Aquarian energy here as well. For those, there can be no well-being when you are denying your truth. Be a beacon of integrity, and you will draw to you others who appreciate you. So again, this person's going to be surrounded by people who, have a similar mindset, but like, I don't feel like this is necessarily a person who doesn't like somebody who has differing opinions. They like the challenge of that. But again, it might be very hard for them to necessarily integrate it completely. If this is kind of, I'm getting the vibe that this person's like, if they're right, then they're right. And they're not going to accept a different thing easily without some proof to back it up. But it's like, once they've seen the proof, like, hey, like this thing is actually more correct, it's more true, then they're gonna be like, oh, okay, since you backed it up with like valid sources and valid information and experience, then I can support that. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting here. But which orange sapphire is talking about joy and sensuality, respecting your body love. Are you kidding me? I did not look at the cards before I did this reading, and wasn't that just like all I was talking about here with the tarot cards? And now we got more confirmation on that. This person is very sensual, and they're very much about their body. And it's like, again, I'm getting the sense of like yoga, like specific breathing. This person might be very much into like tantra, or what was the other one? Like Kama Sutra. Like, this person knows, they really like the body. They might even work in a field that has to do with like body, like what is it, kinesiology, or like personal trainer, a dietitian, a yoga instructor, like something that has to do with a dancer possibly. Like, it's just the vibe I'm getting. But for the relationship message here, it is, your interactions with others through technology can help us build the bonds of friendship, family, and romance. But orange sapphire spirit appears when you need to get back into your body and connect with it physically so that you can express love in a tangible way. This is somebody whose love language is through physical touch. It's talking about hug someone, hold their hand, and explore the gifts of the senses with another. Listening to music together, cooking good food with each other. Again, this person's all about that. Being in the same physical space. Ground your relationship in activities you do with each other today so that you can both be reminded of the precious gift that is the body and nourish your relationship to it. So again, this person's all about nourishment. They like cooking. They like being together. This is somebody who is not going to like the idea of long distance. I also feel like for potentially some of you, your future spouse is not even going to be on social media. Like, they're not going to like social media. They're not going to like that space, or they're not going to use it in the typical way, I feel like, because they don't like that. Again, they like physicality. They like being and interacting with people. This person can definitely be an introvert, not an introvert, I mean an extrovert. in that way. So next up, we have, are you kidding me? We have the dagger, and this was the fiery sword. Conflict and danger lie in wait. And we also have the dragon, strength and wisdom. Potentially this person could be born in the year of the dragon. A lot of mystical, like mythological creatures appearing here. So let's go ahead and talk about the dagger here. So with the dagger, the dagger is a symbol of danger, conflict, adversity, loss, and physical harm. Be on your guard. Beware of backstabbers. This person does not like backstabbers. For sure. They are all about integrity and truth. So it's like if somebody is not going to be true to their word, they're going to have alternative motives. Like this person is not going to like them. And they're going to be, I feel like they can have a temper about that kind of thing. And like they can get pretty pissed off, I feel like is the energy I'm getting there. So, and then you have something like the dragon, which is like, again, more fiery energy, fiery and earth energy. That's just what I'm getting here. So the dragon is the lord of the bestiary, and he thus represents great strength, wisdom, and wealth. The dragon may also symbolize a dangerous adversary or a worthy challenge. Interesting. So next up, we have organization, purpose, planning, efficiency, now come to me so easily. So I feel like this person, we're talking about being an entrepreneur. I feel like this is somebody who might have started like a nonprofit, or they started some sort of organization that is, aligns with their integrity, aligns with their values, or potentially this is something this person in the future will do. Or they might be very involved in different organizations and groups. Again, causes. They like charity, I feel like, as well, helping other people. Next up, we have awakening here. So again, I think somewhere else in the cards, I believe this occurs in spring, or I'm pretty sure it's spring. Let me go ahead and double check that. So yeah, it's a spring celebration. It's the first signs of spring are celebrated on this day of the goddess Brigid. This is the festival of hearth and home and the onset of the lambing season and blooming of the blackthorn. Visits to holy wells with gifts and offerings of milk and cloths hung on yew trees mark this time of renewal, a traditional time to spring clean, observe great weather divination, omens, and signs. So again, one of these other cards was bringing up spring. So potentially this person's birth, it was the Eight of Wands that brought up the spring aspect. This person's birthday potentially could be in the spring, or this is like their favorite time of year. But this is talking about, this is a time of new growth, a good time to purify your thoughts, actions, and diet. This is a great time to seed fresh ideas. Become in tune with your body's cycles. Dream big. Draw on your maiden aspect of the triple goddess. Wake up. So this person, again, they're very much in tune with their body cycles. They have a lot of ideas. This is reminds me of Empress energy. This person has just like so many different ideas that they want to, put out in practical ways. So next up, which is just totally aligned, we have the fiery sword, we have the dagger, and now we have hostilities with card 26 here. So, let's see what this has to say. Defense is up, aggressive energy. This card shows a man raising his sword in readiness to do battle. When it comes upright, it reveals a situation where hostilities toward you are about to be or have already been engaged. The aggressive energy may be verbal or emotional, with someone in your environment being excessively critical, demanding, or hurtful. In a work or social situation, there may be backstabbing. Oh my God, there may be backstabbing. Wow, or out and out slander going on. This is different from the deceit card because the hostile energies are more apparent, more overt. In fact, you may have been living with them for some time. But whether this is new or old energy, now is the time to regain control. Allowing dishonoring treatment from others is an open invitation to the universe to send you more. It may feel risky, but you need to have the courage to stand up for yourself now and always. This is something this person has gone through a lot throughout their life. I feel like in their younger years, they might have been bullied a lot, picked on, whatever it may be. And so they've really learned how to finally stand their ground, have a firm stance. They really don't like backstabbers or, shit talkers, things like that. It's like, no, this person is really against that. And it's like what really grinds their gears. It's like the minute somebody brings up like somebody being injustices, liars, backstabbers, any kind of thing like that, that this is what will trigger this person. That is their thing. So next up, we have the particular cards I pulled in regards to maybe what this person's dark side is. So this, that's not necessarily a negative thing overtly, but it's like kind of their shadow aspects. So we have call for help, reach out, need for backup, admit your needs. Oh, my ear just started ringing really bad when I said that. This person has trouble asking for help, I feel like, because they feel like, again, from their younger experience, they had to fight all their battles themselves. So that might be something they struggle with a lot. We also have rebellion, upstart, turbulent, revolution. This person was kind of rebellious. They had to be, because otherwise they would have been picked on too much. Like, I feel like there was a point when they were very young where they got picked on a lot. And then when they got more into their teens, they became rebellious because it was the only way that they could kind of withstand it. A loner, definitely like a lone wolf kind of attitude. So for these particular cards, there is a blessing side and a curse side. So I'm going to read both because both will probably apply to this future spouse. So blessing side for this is, it is wonderful to have foreknowledge of when you need to work with protection and shielding. This will help you immensely. The curse side is feeling hurt and attacked, weakened, and like a victim. Protect yourself by clearing your space and working with a shielding technique that works for you. Simply visualize yourself completely surrounded by a sphere-shaped field of soft white energy. Within this, you are safe and protected. Nothing harmful can reach through this. Affirm you are safe and well, and take steps to strengthen your body, mind, and spirit. Dare to try something unusual and innovative. It might just work. So this person works a lot with that, keeping their energy clear, working on keeping their body clear, their mind, everything, because they've, especially with the next card that I see, that it makes a lot of sense. We'll get into it, but let's read the rebellion card before I jump into that. And so with rebellion, the blessing side is, you're being called to follow your own soul's path. It is a wonderful thing when you truly become yourself and find what you love. This person is all about that. They want to follow their passion. They want to be completely who they are truly, because again, they probably went through a lot of ridicule because of that. They felt like they had to hide themselves when they were younger. And so the curse side is, there will be loneliness from time to time, but you will meet like-minded rebels upon your soul's road. Exactly. That when they had their rebellious moment, when they were at some point in their earlier years, that's what changed everything for them, because they met some very important people on that path, learned some very important lessons. So I feel like you're going to be very surprised with this particular person, because they're like so chill, so zen right now, like when you meet them. But when you start to get to know them more, it's like they start opening up and telling you about their past, and you're going to be like completely shocked, because it's going to be like the 180 of how they are now, completely. So what else does it say? It's time to be truthful about who you are and what it is you wish to create in your life. You can do this. There will be more support than you can dream of when you open up and share what you felt you must keep secret. There are more like you than you know. Exactly. So, and finally, just another added layer to, again, this might resonate for some of you when it comes to your future spouse. And the next card is the archetype card I pulled in regards to, your future spouse. And we have addict. So the light attributes are helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Shadow attributes is compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your own inner spirit. So potentially, for some of you, your future spouse in their past, they could have been an addict. Like when they went through this rebellious stage, they could have gotten into some shady shit, whether it be drugs, sex, whatever, any kind of addiction, pickpocketing. You get what I'm saying. And again, it was something, and it could have started off as something in order to fit in. Like to finally fit into a certain crowd, like they compromise their integrity or their honesty to try to feel accepted. But then they got to a point where they realized like that behavior was doing more damage to them than they realized. And so this is somebody who completely changed their life through their own strength, through their own resilience. You know, they confronted that addictive behavior. They confronted what compromised their integrity and stood up for themselves. And, you know, it could have been a rebellion for them, whatever it could have been. I definitely am getting that energy here with this particular person. And that's why they're, especially on the side of like addict, like if they were addicted to a certain substance, it's like, that's why they're so focused now on keeping their body clean, you know, making sure that it's healthy, because they don't want to, one, fall back into that old pattern because they know how bad it is. And two, they want to make sure that like they can reverse what they did to their body when they were in these younger years, so that they can live the longest life they can. They want to be as healthy and clean as possible, because it just helps them with their own mental space. So that is what I'm getting for in regards to your future spouse here. So again, this was more about the person's personality, what you need to know about them, not so much about like their looks or when you'll meet them. Again, if I did get information about their looks or when you'll meet them, I would of course say that information. But again, this is more about like just what you need to know. And so as far as this person's character, that's more of what this video is about. So if this resonated, please do leave a like on this video. Comment down below what you thought about it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you do not want to miss any future videos. And so if you would also be interested in getting a personal reading with me or me and my Pisces twin, that info is always down in the description. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. For those of you who picked pile 3 with the Labradorite and this particular image, let's go ahead and start by pulling your charms. So for my pile 3s, what do you need to know about your future spouse? What do you need to know about your future spouse? Okay, so let's go ahead and get a better look at this. So already we got, before I even get to those, we have 2 charms here that I always take as being foreign. So, you know, this could be somebody who's from a foreign land from you, seems completely foreign, it's completely different from you. They could also be very musically inclined. So potentially, I mean, if you want like specific places they could be from, Paris, France, Ireland, you know, Dublin, possibly. And so let's go ahead and get to those other messages before I dive deeper into this. So let's see, we have sell your ideas. They are totally acceptable. This particular person is all about ideas. Prosperity is within us. Exactly. I feel like this is going to be somebody who's a very good manifester. Like they can think it and it will actually happen in physical reality. And so your potential self is infinite. Let's see. Yeah, this person is very much about, you know, they like calm, they like chill energy, they're very balanced, but they can be kind of quiet, they can be kind of shy, they potentially could be kind of cold at first. Like a hermit energy is what I'm getting here. So like the particular energies I'm getting, especially from the shells, is Temperance, Hermit, as well as the Empress. So again, lots of fantastic ideas, very fertile, you know, especially once you get to know them. They warm up. We even have a locket here. So again, this person, they're going to have a very nostalgic feeling about them. They could potentially like have secrets, but it's just something that they kind of keep to themselves because they struggle with trusting, just because. And I don't feel like that. Like I feel like this is information from a past life. Like that is what they kind of keep hidden. Like they have a lot of memories related to that, but a lot of people don't understand. So it's like they don't tell anybody. They don't like to sit still either. I feel like they do travel a lot. Again, I'm getting a feeling that. Sorry if I like stopped for a second, but it's like I saw something out of the corner of my eye. It's been happening a lot lately. Yeah, this person, it's like, I feel like they come from a place where it's like, it's a melting pot of other cultures. They're very curious about that. they're going to be foreign from you. We have this here, this particular shoe. I always take, especially with just one, kind of like Cinderella, transformation. Something unexpected about this person. They might really like animals. Again, very chill. I just keep getting that. Very creative, very imaginative. They could potentially see things. Like they have a lot of like clairvoyant, is it clairvoyant? Yeah, clairvoyant abilities, clair abilities in general. They have a deep connection to their emotions. And again, they can manifest prosperity for themselves very well. So let's go ahead and start diving into your cards as well to see what is going on here. So I did not look at the cards before I did this, and what was I just talking about? What have I been talking about this person? It's like, oh, they could be a really good manifester. And look at what the first tarot card we have here. It's the Magician. This person is literally the goddamn magician. Are you kidding me right now? But next up, we have some tarot that I pulled from the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And so, this could be representing more of their sexual side. And so we have the Hangman, another major arcana. We have the King of Cups, as well as the Five of Cups. So again, a lot of emotions going on here. Again, all of these right here are related to water signs. So the Hangman is related to Neptune, which is related to Pisces. King of Chalices, Five of Chalices potentially being a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces again. And so let's go ahead and talk more about this. So, look, we got the Magician. Like, this person, they just know how to manifest it. Like, they have the will, they have the mind, they got the stuff to do it. And so they know when the right time is to act. They can really, when they set their mind on their goals, they're going to achieve it. They have good mastery and control over situations that they get into. They love to master new skills. Again, a lot of creativity, a lot of, they just have favorable outcomes. Like, I feel like this person's very lucky, and it's just like they get these grand opportunities to just kind of fall in their lap, and people just look at it like, how the hell did that happen? Again, this person, I feel like they've traveled the world a lot as well, and it's just like, how did you go to all these amazing places? And they just kind of like shrug, like they're not a braggy person. I don't feel like they just experience it. And so over here, of course, we have the Hangman first and foremost. So let's see what it has to say. So Hangman is all about sacrifice, bonding. So a strong bond, even if platonic, magic action against impediments and impotence. So potentially your future, I'm like tripling over my words here. Potentially the relationship with your future spouse could start off as something totally platonic, a friendship, maybe even like work colleagues, whatever it may be. It starts off as that, but then it's like this really deep bond forms. Or it's like, even though you start off as friends, that bond has always been there. It was like something that just happened. And, also potentially, since we're talking about bonding, this person could potentially be very much into bondage. So just be prepared for that. But also it's like sacrificing the ego, I feel like. Magic action. This person is very magical. They just, again, they got the stuff. They just know how to do it. But with the chalices here, the 5 here is about guilt. The magic of the glowing ember. The weight of the past and its consequences is always remembered, but must be left behind to break overly oppressive attachments. You must open yourself to adventure and freedom. So that could also be a potential thing that this future spouse struggles with a lot, is bonds, attachments that they have. That's kind of what I was getting with this particular charm, like holding on to past attachments. That might even be a challenge, because they might, for a certain amount of you, they could potentially still hold on to like exes almost. And it's not like a message that they're going to be unfaithful or anything. Like, I don't get that vibe off this person at all, but it's just like kind of holding on to that memory, or like the pain that they felt with like an ex or something like that again, they're very emotional. So it's like that kind of stuff really hits them hard, and it just kind of like lingers on them. And sometimes that can be why they kind of potentially reject new suitors, because it's just they can't get over maybe the past, even if it's like something as like that wasn't even long term, but it can still have a huge impact on this person. That's just what I'm getting. They might struggle a lot with guilt. That even doesn't make like the guilt that they have doesn't even make sense. It's just like, but it's something they struggle with. So also we have the King here of Cups. So this is talking about satisfaction. You know, the magic of spiced tea. A transparent, harmonious relationship must be fueled by surprise, awe, and constant bantering. This person, again, they're going to be very good at bantering. You're going to have like a really good repertoire with this person when you meet. And that's why it's like you kind of just start off as maybe like friends, because it's just, it feels natural. It's like, it's a very natural, very chill relationship. It's like not a lot of effort. Again, this person is very adventurous. They need to travel. They need to move because it helps them. It's like if they stand still for too long, for, again, this may or may not resonate, or it may to be to different degrees. If like they hold still for too long, the guilt comes in and it can tie them up. You know, thinking about the past, mistakes from the past, it just kind of comes up. Maybe this person's a Pisces. I don't know. That just feels like a Pisces thing, you know, like you're laying there. Everybody has this happen, but like, especially with Pisces, like you're laying there in bed and then there's like a stupid, dumb little thing that like embarrassed you, or a mistake from the past just pops up in your head and you're just like, well, why do I have to go through this again? And just, I thought I buried that somewhere far away and don't have to think about it again. I don't know. Maybe that may or may not resonate, but again, strongly getting water sign off this so far. But yeah, you know, really enjoying surprises, adventures. Like, this is a very adventurous soul. So moving into the specific animal cards I pulled in regards to, you know, that might represent this future spouse. Again, this person might be very intuitive, very much about magic, because we have the gazelle and we have the crow, which is a very psychic card here in this particular deck. So let's go ahead and start off with the gazelle. And so this person might have like a really beautiful way that they move. They might be very Lilith, with, is that the right word? You know, they could be potentially very fast as well. You know, so with the gazelle, it's talking about heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable. Yeah, I was getting that vibe off this person too. They can be very vulnerable, both as a positive and a negative. Sometimes they're vulnerable in situations that they really should have their guard up in. Because again, I feel like they're very loving and they're very emotional. So it's like they want to connect with people that way, which could potentially lead to their energy getting kind of, they could, you know, that could be like an empath thing. For some of you, your future spouse is an empath. But anyway, the gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant. And this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. Yeah, this person has a very gentle spirit. And so when this is in balance, it's talking about graceful, perceptive, artistic. Potentially this person is an artist. When out of balance, food allergies, insomnia, racing mind. I can relate to this pile. I don't know why. Food allergies. I fucking hate food allergies. If anybody who follow me on Instagram, like, you might know that I have a food allergy. So it's like, I that's so annoying. I don't know why I'm just like giggling again with this pile like I did with the last one. But how to bring it back into balance is yin yoga, a cozy home, good food. Potentially this person could be a Cancer. Oh, I'm just like so giggly with these piles. But yes, that's just like, that sounds like a Cancer thing right there. Cozy home, good food, chill time, yin yoga. All right, so moving on to the crow before I get any more giggly. I gave that same warning to the last pile, but for a completely different reason. But let's find the crow here. So with the crow, this is talking about spiritually strong, creative, watchful. These same keywords just keep popping up. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen. Wasn't that what I said? That's what I said earlier when I was looking at the charms. Like, oh, this person, your future spouse, they might be able to actually like see things, and look, more confirmation on that. So that's a strong possibility for a lot of you. So don't be surprised. Oh, this is making me think. I've been watching The Ancient Magus Bride a lot recently. I just finished watching it. I love that manga, but that's potentially your future spouse could be a slave baggy. So if you're not familiar with that series, look it up. But anyway. Knowing the unknown, it is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. So when in balance, psychic, strong, and clear. When out of balance, undergrounded, hypersensitive. Have that twice. This person can be very hypersensitive. And so how to bring it back into balance? Daily meditation practice. So that's very important for this person. So even when you meet your future spouse and they're not, like you recognize this as your future spouse, they have these qualities and they're not doing daily meditation or yoga or whatever it is, definitely encourage them to do that because it's going to help them immensely, I feel like. So next up, we have messages from the Fae. And so in regards to your future spouse. And so we have himself with card 17. We also have, it's kind of hard to read the writing on that one, but we have card 30. And then we have card 57. And so I feel like this one, for some reason, is going to stay reversed. But let's go ahead and talk about this. Card 17. So with this card, it's talking about natural law, life force, magic, and shamanic power. So, potentially this person could have shamanic powers, be a shaman. So when himself appears in a card spread, he not only indicates a great amount of energy is present in the reading, but he also strongly energizes the fairy cards around him. Everything he touches becomes more of whatever is, very much magician energy. More alive, more vigorous, more powerful, more awesome, or more awful. This card in a reading can indicate great vitality, victory, or triumph, confidence, and power. There is leadership, an ability to command, steadfastness, and integrity. Wild power held and channeled for the good of all by will. Himself speaks of protection, either of the querent or of someone the querent owes protection to, like a child or an elder. Acceptance of paternal responsibility is important, as are deep, committed relationships. So this person is very much about committed relationships, as well as, potentially this is somebody who wants to be a father or a mother, or they're very close to their family, or a particular, family member that they have to care for. He is the preserver of the natural world in its balance. Shamanic power may be indicated here, as well as a potential for powerful spiritual healing. This card may also speak of erotic energy, passion, and potent creativity. So it's coming up multiple times right here. So now we're going to go ahead and jump to card 30 here, which again, I feel like this is reversed. And that's talking about unconditional giving, unconditional receiving. So reverse, ask yourself if you've been giving too much and it is time to stop and attend to your own needs for a bit. Alternatively, ask yourself if you've been refusing to receive the bounty of the universe flowing through the lame's hands, just because it wasn't in quite the form you were expecting, or because it was from a different source than what you wanted it to be. So come from. Sometimes we put restrictions on our receiving. For example, we may feel the approval and love has come from one specific person, or all other approval and love is without value to us. If so, we need to learn to accept what comes from any source as coming from a loving universe, blessed by the Lama's hands. So that's something this person could be struggling with is, they give too much of themselves to other people, or again, it's part of learning their magician energy to just unconditionally receive from the universe, no matter what it is. So that just depends on your particular spouse's level in their maturity with this particular ability. So some could be at this very early stage where they're still coming into the magician energy, while others are really set, firm, and mastered it. But next up, we have card 57. So let's see what this is. And this is the Luaths, the Wild. Haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, and balance. So this card says that wild creative energies are being brought to whatever position it represents in the card layout. Look at that. This card was talking about enhancing any of the energies here. And it was referring to creative energy. And this is also referring to that. So this person is highly creative, like incredibly so. So, it often fires up things that surround it, represented by other cards, energizing them as well. It tells us that it's important to think and act creatively, and it says that energy to do so is available. New approaches are called for here. Old ideas and old behaviors will not do it. Sometimes it may be useful to draw another card or do an additional layout to get some suggestions about what those new ideas might be. Alternatively, Luthas may be telling you to go for something now. For example, another member of our Oracle discussion group, because that's what they had a whole Oracle group that kind of worked together to create the meanings for these particular cards. At a convention, and a man was demonstrating electronic devices. She was not particularly interested in them, but he and she talked about the different meters and tools for a while. She started to walk away, and then she thought, no, I've got to do this. She went back and told him, I don't think I've ever forgive myself if I don't tell you. I think I'm in love with you. They've been happily married for many years now. Wow. That goes into that spontaneous energy. That's something this person will do. It's like if they have the feeling, if their intuition connects with that, it's like, it's just there's no question about it. And so sometimes it's important to take the risk of making a fool of yourself to gain something amazing and wonderful and miraculous. Sometimes, this card says, go for it now. Is it important to do so? And sometimes it isn't. If the only reason for caution is that you're afraid of looking silly, it possibly is time to go for it. Remember, then, that you need to keep an eye on, Luthas. Don't let him have control of your schedule or the accelerator in your car. He always is thinking, going faster and taking chances is better. And sometimes he is even right. Use sense and stay grounded, even while he takes you off on flights of fancy. So that was a long spiel right there. But I think the point is, this potential future spouse can be very spontaneous, again, very adventurous, and they need to balance that out with staying grounded and practical. And so next up we have, I love this, the particular crystal card that I pulled in regards to what your relationship would be with your future spouse. And we have orange calcite. It's one of my favorite stones. Calcite is one of my favorite stones. So let's go ahead and see what the specific relationship message is here. So are you kidding me right now? I can't get over this group because creativity has come up like how many times have I said it, guys? Like, if you haven't gotten the point yet that your future spouse is creative, here we go again. Creativity, the pleasure of birthing something new, sensuality, and sexuality. That's that Empress energy coming through. And so it's easy to tell yourself I can't instead of I can. We're going back to this message right here. You are meant to access the infinite possibilities. Wait a second. Your potential self is infinite. That become evident as you start to channel creativity from the conscious universe. As you step into your creative self, you open up to new paths of relating to others and start to reshape your relationships in ways that make them even healthier and more satisfying. Partnerships evolve, and as your co-creative abilities are very powerful right now, look at how you may deepen intimacy through trust and be more playful and creative in your relationships. So I feel like I was getting that message even before I got to the specific wording. For you guys who picked this pile, if you want to call in your spouse here faster, you need to connect with your own creativity as well. Like, you need to embrace that. You need to dive into whatever it is your creative passion is, put it in there, put in the work, and then put it out and share it with the universe, because that might actually catch the eye of your future spouse, because it might also be your guys' way of manifesting each other is through a creative venture, whether it's writing, art, singing, music, whatever it may be, programming, working on cars, whatever you feel is creative for you, cooking, like that is your guys' way of manifesting each other. Because I feel like even you guys who pick this particular pile, it's like you could have very strong magician energy about you as well. And so like you guys can manifest each other. You guys might even like get connected before you even ever meet, like over the 5D, through dreams, through, you know, telepathic communications. Like that is coming through. So next up, this is why I was so giggly, and again, like so giggly whenever this comes up. This happened with the previous pile, so maybe for some of you, if you weren't also attracted to pile 2, then you might want to also watch pile 2. But again, just do whatever resonates for you. But pile 2 also had this particular creature pop up in their reading, and it made me very giggly. And we have it again in this one, the unicorn. Good fortune and friendship. See, you guys are going to start off, I think, as friends. You're going to have a very solid foundation of a relationship in friendship. And it's going to be very like good fortune all around, good luck. You know, this person is very lucky. And so with the unicorn, they're also your unicorn, just to, you know, throw in some supernatural fandom related stuff in there, if you know what I'm talking about. But the unicorn is a symbol of good fortune, healing, potent sexuality, and fertility. Empress energy. Again, this person is going to be very good on the sexual and sensual front. But again, I don't feel like it's so overtly like, it's not like how pile 2 was, but pile 2 had a very similar vibe as well. This magical beast may also indicate a rare find or represent a trustworthy friend. Yeah, this person is going to be very trustworthy for you. And again, they're going to be kind of like a rare find. I feel like it's going to be very unexpected how you meet them, how you guys connect, and it's just going to be like, is this reality? Like, is this for real? I feel like this is what's happening here. Very romantic. Look at the next card we have here. Safe home. I cast the circle roundabout. Safety now is beyond doubt. So again, this person's very much about, they're very protective about their energy, about their personal space. Kind of going back to that hermit energy. It's like they like their personal space. They want to make sure it's safe. The video actually cut out right at 25:25. So there might be a significant number right there for you guys who picked this pile. But as I was saying with this, it's like they're not one who's going to want your future spouse, like, doesn't want to welcome in negative energies into their home. Like, they're very, very protective of that. And they want to build a very safe home. This is somebody who, again, I was getting the sense of, like, this is kind of like a family person. Like, they will want to start a family at some point and have a very safe, welcoming home. Again, they like coziness. They like, I don't know, that kind of warmth is what I'm getting here. So let's also go ahead and jump into the next card we have here, which is, we have death here with someone. I always mess this up every time I say it. Whatever. Halloween. Okay, we got Halloween going on here. But we got the death card, which, you know, is related to the energy of Scorpio, which is another potential water sign here that we have. But with this particular Samhain, there we go. Now I can finally say it. But this is talking about letting go of old patterns and behaviors. Take a risk. Again, a lot of that, you know, take a risk on something. Fear is preventing your freedom. Embrace your croning years and step into your wisdom. A death changes your outlook. So one, it's like we've had that message that this future spouse, it's like all about spontaneity and like taking a risk. So, and I'm not getting necessarily the energy that this person like struggles with that. Like, I feel like it's like if they like you, if they want to be with you, then they're just gonna like risk it for the biscuit. Essentially, it's like they're all about that. They don't, because it's like if it doesn't work out the way that they want it to, it's like, oh, they recognize the universe. It's a sign from the universe that isn't actually what's meant for me, and so something better is just around the corner. So it's like they understand that concept. But I also feel like this is somebody who might have experienced a lot of death in their family or in their life, whether it was like a very close, prominent friend, a family member who they very cared about, like some sort of prominent passing of someone in their life really left an everlasting change on their being. Because again, if they're very sensitive to their environment, they can possibly see, you know, things beyond the veil. That might have been a very like profound experience, because they literally saw like the spirit leaving the body. Or maybe, you know, even death itself, you know, the reaper potentially, like whatever you want to like have that represent, that concept actually coming to take the soul or something like that, you know, guide the soul into the next incarnation, the next, you know, the next phase or whatever, however you want, however it resonates for you personally as you're reading, you know, you're hearing this message. It's like, I feel like that's something this person has witnessed a lot. They might have, potentially for others, it could have been like they were in war, so they witnessed a lot of death. They always like freedom. They don't like to be restrained. They also don't like fear either, because again, they've had to deal with that inner fear, fighting against, you know, old patterns and behaviors. They've gone, this is somebody who's gone through a lot of death moments in their life, whether it's like literal deaths or just like the transformation of their life, who they are as a person, you know, rebirthing that over and over again, going back to that Empress energy again. So next up we have some deep shit right there. I'm just gonna say, we have the Angel of Love, and this card is in reverse. So let's go ahead and talk about this particular card and what it potentially means here in the reverse. So tender connections in the reverse, it's talking about the Angel of Love could indicate a possible disconnect in matters of the heart. While this sometimes signifies a divorce or separation, it could also imply an emotional rift where two people stay connected on a superficial basis, yet at a deeper level seem to be going their own ways. In this position, the angel can also refer to old separation. If the longing remains alive in one person's heart, you know, that kind of resonates with the previous pile's message that I was getting. I feel like there's a little bit of crossover. It's not necessarily like your future spouse represents both. For some of you, it could be they represent both the energies of pile 2 and 3, but I also just feel like there's some like cross messages that kind of apply to each other's pile. But anyway, if you're found yourself unable to let go, going back to that right there, this loving angel is telling you it's time to release any toxic or unrequited attachment you may be holding on to. The universe is waiting for you to free your heart and open your life to the full present and honoring love that you so rightly deserve. So look in the mirror and see the angel of love there with you. Know that you are worthy of this tender emotion from yourself and others. So again, I feel like, so potentially, probably that little portion there talking about divorce or separation is not the greatest thing to hear in a reading that has to do with a future spouse, but maybe for a very, very tiny portion of you, like the relationship with this particular person, if you feel like, you know, what we're seeing here of what represents this person is so like contradictory and different from you, but it's like you still fall in love with this person, like the opposites attract, there could be a lot of tension there between the two of you, because of disconnect, of not being able to relate on that heart level, that heart space, because that's going to be very important to this person. Again, that's for a very, very small portion of you. Again, I don't feel like if there is maybe like a divorce or a separation between you and this future spouse, like I don't feel like it's going to be a long-term thing. Like I feel like it could have been a decision made in like a rash, heated moment. But again, that's for a very, very small portion of you. I feel like this is really also related to this card right here. And so potentially your future spouse might have dealt with divorce or separation within their own family. That could have caused, you know, a lot of hardship for them, caused them to be maybe a little bit, it's like, I feel like this person has a very romantic heart and it's like they really want that deep committedness. But if they had experienced, if that resonates, that their future spouse experienced like a pretty significant divorce or separation in their family life, it's like it's made them fearful about the commitment. Like almost like, is the same thing going to happen? They might be holding a lot of, again, like grief, guilt, because maybe they feel like they were the cause for the separation or the divorce. Like they put too much pressure on themselves. They take on too much responsibility and too much of the emotions of other people that are not their own. Again, that goes back to the empath thing. I also feel like, again, this could just talk about an emotional rift between two people, staying connected on superficial basis. Or again, this is related to an old separation, maybe an ex, or again, maybe the passing of somebody significant in their life, holding on to unrequited attachments. Maybe for this person, since we had so much of that message of like, oh, just taking a risk and telling somebody you love them, it could be that this person did that maybe at a younger age, or they didn't do it at all, and so they really regretted not, sharing their heart with somebody in that way. This could also stem back into past lives of regretting never taking the risk and still carrying on that guilt from a past life here of like, why didn't I take the risk in that past life, and regretting it now. And so changing their way in this present life. Making sure that this person works on freeing their heart and having, again, it's all about receiving that message that came along with the Magician here and some of the other cards of just being open to receive whatever the universe brings and not holding on to any specific expectation. So moving on, let's get into the card that I particularly pulled in regards to, potentially what this person's like dark side is. So kind of like their shadow self. And so we have the Maenad with madness is static ritual energy release. And so for these particular cards, there's a blessing side and a curse side. So I'm going to read both. And so, wow, I feel like this person has quite the potential of a wild side. And again, that came up and with some of the other cards that is just like really intense. Like, yeah, kind of like on that madness side. So blessing side is, it is safe for you to give way to feelings of intense bliss and happiness, even excitement. Feeling deeply and allowing yourself to be swept up in the rapture is a beautiful thing for you to experience at this time. It is safe to let this happen under the current circumstances. On the curse side, it's a fear that divine madness will be permanent, that there is a short distance between the bliss of the Maenad and insanity, keeping yourself on such a tight leash that your repressions rule you and are therefore expressed in unhealthy ways. So dancing, going out, indulging in ritual that gives you a safe escape valve for your wild urges needs to be created now. That might be why this person is so creative. They might literally need a creative outlet. Again, I can kind of relate to this, to express their wild urges. Because again, we had a lot of cards talking about sexuality, sensuality. Like this person has a lot of pent up energy in that way. Like, again, when I was reading this, getting a little un-PG-13 right here, but again, it was the message that came through. Like this person like comes hard. They just like, it's super intense for this person. And anybody that they're like with, it becomes super intense for them as well because of how strong this person's energy is. Again, with the Magician, it's like really intense energy that's just like simmering there on the surface and you wouldn't even realize it. So again, it's like a very thin line of being blissful and then going into madness. So it's like this person has to have an outlet to control that, to release some of that, whether it's like exercise, whether it's creativity, they have to have an outlet in order to, a ritual of sorts to get that out. Because again, that was kind of suggested here. Both of these cards were not only enhancing every other card here in the reading, but it both talked about creativity and wild energy, especially this one. And even when I'm like, look at this card, and I keep like, it almost reminds me of almost this image that I created. Like there's some similarity there. I don't know if anybody else is kind of picking up on that. But anyway, back to what this card is talking about, Or else you may find the virtues you have worked so hard to establish eroding. And if you do things in a sacred way, there will be a kind of beauty to the madness. No more control. Find a safe place. And look, we had that message of a safe home right there. Find the safe people and go wild just for a little while within the temple you create. Do this and transcendence will follow. The loss of self leads to the uniting with the Great Spirit, the great soul of this world and beyond. And when you go to this place and drink the Holy Grail of life, you will return replenished, whole, and fully returned. This will bring strength. That's why that message of like this person and why the hermit energy is kind of present. It's like they're very protective of their space because that's like the only place that they can really like let loose and be wild. And so this future spouse, like you need to be able to be prepared for this wild energy that they have inside, because again, you may not even realize it on the surface when you first meet them, but it's there. That's why they have to learn how to balance it so much. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff going on right here. This is a crazy pile. Like this is probably the longest one in this whole video. But anyway, going into finally the last cards we have here. These are like the archetype cards that represent your future spouse, and what a mix considering everything else we've read here. So one, we have Prince. The light attributes are romantic charm and potential for power. The shadow attributes are using power for self aggrandizement. Words, they elude me. Anyway, so we have the Prince and we have God. Oh, what a mix. What a mix. Light attributes are benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Shadow attributes are, how do you say that? Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. So, wow. This person really needs to be careful with your future spouse has to be very careful about how they use their magician energy. Because literally, it's like they have so much potential and so much power in them that, again, it kind of borders on almost madness. And so I feel like with that shadow attribute, it's like this is somebody who inadvertently can kind of affect other people to kind of do their bidding for them. If you catch my drift. What popped in mind was the Purple Man from Jessica Jones. Kind of like that. Not that extreme, of course, because that's like comic book reality world, but almost. Because again, this person's energy is just like gnarly. But on the light attributes, it's like they're so compassionate. They recognize the beauty in everybody. And again, they have a ton of romantic charm. This is very much like, Knight of Cups. Again, this is all in the water realm of things. So high emotions, creativity, connection to, again, source, I feel like. And so, yeah, that's the big warning here with this particular person is like they have to really use their power wisely because it's just an innate power that they have since they were born. And that could have gotten them in some trouble. Like I'm getting kind of an image and a message of like this particular future spouse of yours as a child, like being kind of manipulative and they didn't even quite realize it, what they were doing. But it's like, oh, I could get what I wanted because I could, just innately being this way. And so they could have potentially used that. They could have been a little bit of like a shit starter, very like trickstery kind of as a child because it's just they have too much energy. They could have been very like, again, that wild energy, like very much, I feel like this person is they're almost more otherworldly than they are like normal human. Like if you can, like they have like a strong connection to kind of that fae energy that's just like wild, untapped, just the raw source of everything. And so that's like this is somebody who could tap into that same kind of energy. And so when they were a child especially, it's like it could get out of hand, which may be part of why for some of you it's like that your future spouse might have experienced, again, divorce or separation in their life because it's like parents arguing, they couldn't agree on how to raise, this particular child, and so it caused some rifts, and that's why they might carry guilt. Can you catch my drift? Again, that not everything is going to resonate exactly, but more or less, this is the energy I'm picking up on this pile. This has been wild. This has been a wild pile. I can't wait to get to the last pile here and see what other messages we get up for that one. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If this resonated, please do leave a like on this video. Comment down below what you thought about it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you do not want to miss any future videos. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. All right, my pile force. This has been a wild ride of some reading, so it's going to be interesting to get into your pile as well, because the last few ones have been pretty gnarly. So let's go ahead and start off with, of course, your charms for this reading about your future spouse. So what do you guys, pile 4, need to know about your future spouse? What do you, ow, something bit me. Let's see. What do you need to know about your future spouse? Ooh. What else do they need to know? Pile 4 needs to know about their future spouse. Alrighty, so we have an additional message of walk beautifully, talk beautifully, live beautifully. So this is like, this person is all about walking their talk. We have quite a few different bottles. So again, a lot, this is like, I'm getting the sense that this is a party person. Like they love love. They love, being around people. They love celebration. They like sharing their cup with others. They like expressing themselves. The number 6 or the number 4 might be significant here. Oh, they're very much from their sacral chakra center. So again, very sensual, very creative, might have a very potent sexuality about them. They also are very good at communicating as well. So their throat chakra might be very activated. Again, this is like somebody who's very good at socializing. I'm getting that sense. Like they have a lot of connections. They just know how to get along with anybody. They potentially could be from a foreign place, or they could be foreign to you. They could potentially be a musician. I feel like, again, like going on tour, visiting a lot of places. We have the best friends forever charm. So you guys could start off very much as really great friends, or maybe you're going to meet each other through some very important friends. This person knows about cycles. They have, their luck is constantly changing. New things are always coming up. They have very prominent memories, I feel like, of past lives. Very like an old soul here, very knowledgeable, but very much like all about temptation. Like this person is going to be very tempting. They kind of like that. I see a lot of hidden knowledge as well, because we have, again, like we have that dinosaur, we have the elephant here, connection to ancestors, to the past. Very giving, almost too giving. I'm getting the message of like this person, they need to be careful. But they like to eat from like the hidden knowledge. Like, I don't know why that's like coming to mind. They're very opulent. That's just like what I'm getting for your future spouse here from the charms. But let's go ahead and start looking at the specific tarot cards and oracle cards we have here. So, why am I not surprised? We have the 4 of Wands and we have the 2 of Wands. So, nothing but fire energy here, baby. Very passionate, very spiritual, very creative. Again, all of those are coming up. With the 4 of Wands here, it's like, this is somebody, again, they really like celebration. It's like, if there's a wedding happening or a birthday party, it's like they're all about it. They want to be in the middle. They want to do planning. They might actually do a lot for career in regards to like wedding planning, party planning, something like that. It's like they love that. Again, they love. That's like, this is like a Cupid person. I feel like that represents them, is the Cupid. And so again, this person is somebody who's going to be very down for marriage. I feel like if you want that kind of commitment, once they find that, it's like they're down for the commitment. But I also, for small group of you, a warning that be careful, because this person can maybe sometimes have like a little bit of a wandering eye, but not like on purpose. It's like because they're just so into, socializing, being around people, connecting with people, that they naturally come off as very flirty. And so other people can take that in the wrong way. And so if you are a particularly jealous person, that's going to be a challenge here. It's also going to be a challenge for your future spouse, because it's like, if they're going to commit to marriage, it's like they're going to need to curve some of their like crazy party ways, is just what I'm getting here. A lot of need for compromise here between the two of you. And so with that Four of Wands, yeah, it's celebration, it's harmony, it's, the ideal order in the home. Hospitality. This person is so about hospitality. They're a great host. They love vacations, relaxing, being in pleasant company of people. Like, this is like completely how this person is. It's all about the holidays. It's all about harmony. It's all about, peace and just having a really good time. I feel like this is somebody who is not like, for them to be successful in work, it has to feel like fun. It has to feel like a party every day. Because if it's like this is not somebody who could handle like sitting behind like a desk forever. Like, they need movement, they need excitement. This is not just party planning, but this could be somebody who's like literally like in the limelight. I feel like this is potentially somebody who's like an actor, or like they're aspiring to be an actor, a model. Again, they're really about that kind of lifestyle, I feel like, to various different degrees. Again, that's not like to say every single one of you is going to have some sort of actor, husband or wife or whatever. But I'm just giving you the potential. Some of you might. This just is kind of the energy I'm getting here. So let's also go ahead and talk about, again, the Two of Wands here, which is definitely where I'm getting that really flirty energy. And so this is from the tarot sexual magic. This can be more of their sexual side. And so with that wand energy here, the Two of Wands is all about nearness, the magic of sliced bread, sharing every bite of food to unite with another person without losing yourself. So I feel like that's something this person might struggle with, especially when they were younger, is like kind of following the crowd because they just love being in the crowd. And so kind of adopting personalities and temperaments and behaviors from the other people they surround themselves with. But at the same time, this is somebody who likes to be very near. They like to be very intimate. Or when it comes to that, they like to, again, be in really nice company. Like, this is somebody who really appreciates, a partner, a spouse who is very good at communicating, who has, interesting things to say. So next up, of course, we have the animal cards I pulled to represent your future spouse. And so we have the horse. God damn it. These messages that come through my head sometimes. It's like, I never try to like have a certain age limit on my readings, but for this one in particular, I just got the message hung like a horse. That could be a strong potential for this particular person. We also have the raccoon. So for the masculine future spouse, hung like a horse. Sorry, this is what's gonna come through. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the raccoon. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. So raccoon energy is at play within all artists to greater or lesser degrees at best. It indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Again, this person could be a musician. Like, yeah. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. Yeah, so that's probably a part of why it's like I'm getting so much of like that socializing. Like, this person, this future spouse for some of you, is literally in the audience eyes, like, constantly. So again, that might be something you guys have to, like, it might be a challenge that you guys have to work through together, is like, this person might not have a lot of privacy because they're so in the limelight, which is why it's like they love nearness. They like that part of it as well as just being in the limelight. You know, they like both aspects. They want everything. Like, this is somebody who they want everything. When in balance, the raccoon energy is about being a generous friend, exceptional artist. You know, when out of balance, it's talking about being competitive, starving artists. And how to bring into balance, you know, make new work. This is somebody who is like constantly working. Again, this is not somebody who has a traditional job. They can't handle that. Or like not like conventional jobs that you would think like most you like hear society wise, like you should do, like, you know, be a doctor, be, you know, work as an accountant, you know, be like a steady, like safe job. That's not what this person is going to like. So with the horse energy, we're talking about momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with the momentum so reliable, so supportive that you can ride on its back onward toward any goal, riding on its back. Like, this is again, going back to the sexual stuff here, like, this is somebody who's gonna like ride all night long. Like, they've got a lot of energy. Like, be prepared. Anyway. The horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental force, meditation, are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. So when it's in balance, achieves anything, never gives up. When out of balance, it runs away, feels weak. To bring into balance, strength training. So this is somebody who potentially does a lot of training, might have to do a lot of training, you know, to be suitable for the roles that they're taking on. You know, I'm also thinking of like a stuntman, potentially. But next up, we have a message from the Fae about your future spouse. And so we have card 45. And so with this particular card, let's see what it has to say. So this is Titan, Sylph, there we go. Acute intelligence, quickness, mental synthesis, discernment. So what we see here is mental quickness, adaptability, and enthusiasm. Ideas and opinions abound. A few are brilliant, but others vary from mediocre to downright silly. Be selective. Mental and psychic abilities may be awakening. Psychic abilities. Independent thinking is in operation. New ideas and new versions of old ideas are creating an exciting, effervescent atmosphere. Avoid excesses and extremes. Minds may change often as new ideas and new ways of seeing bubble to the surface. Out of conflict and confusion, resolved by goodwill and clear thinking, a new and better understanding may come. This is somebody who, they're very smart as well. They have quick mental abilities, but not all of their ideas are winners. So that's like something that's going to be important for this person, is to have somebody who's very honest with them, to tell them, you know, what's up. Like, if that idea is really that great of an idea, essentially. So, and so next up, we have the crystal cards I pulled in regards to like how your relationship will be with your future spouse. So we have the Mookite Jasper and we have the Smithsonite. And so for these particular ones, let's go ahead and start with that Mookite Jasper, card 36. And so this is about risk, adventure, new experiences, exploring unknown territory, claiming personal power. All relationships evolve. By healing old patterns that maybe have blocked you from experiencing relationships as deeply nourishing and joy-giving, you are also evolving. Do not look at the old maps of where you have been or talk about how things will always be the way they were in the past. The future is full of possibilities. Be here now in the present moment, drawing in the power of Mookite Jasper spirit to amplify your adventurous spirit. You are transforming in this moment, becoming the person you need to be to have the relationship you desire. You are called to banish fear as you sail forth into unfamiliar seas. You can trust yourself now, for you have learned so much. And so with the Smithsonite, and yes, I might not be pronouncing that right, so forgive me. But anyway, rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles to growth. So you're evolving, and again, both of these cards are talking about evolving. And the confusion will lift as you breathe and listen to the message of Smithsonite. Even when you are leading your partner in dance, there will be times when it seems as you are stumbling backward or whirling through the air. You feel unsure of where the ground is and whether you're about to fall. In every relationship, evolution is necessary at times, for circumstances always change. You must become the person you need to be so that intimacy and friendship can weather the inevitable storms and can grow even stronger. Put one foot forward and twirl around without fear, for soon your gaze will meet your partner's and you will see eye to eye on what is most important. Then the right next step will become clear. So again, about being on the same page. You guys might go through a lot of evolutions together. So next up, we have, and what was I saying before with that? We had the love charm right there. It's like, oh, this is a person who loves love. And look, true love and fidelity. We also have the key with locked doors can now be opened. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So with this love charm, let's talk about it. Let's see, where is it? So actually, let's talk about the key here. You possess the ability to resolve a current dilemma or bypass any obstacle. Locked doors can now be opened. The key is also a symbol of trust and responsibility. Do not abuse the confidence that another has placed in you. Yeah, so it's like when this is somebody, it's like they have to hide a lot of things, especially if they're in the public eye, to maintain their reputation. So it's like when they trust you and you get alone in a private space, it's like they're going to reveal stuff and you need to be like their rock and make sure that you never spill their secrets, because you're literally like one of the only people that they can share that with. So with the love card here, it's the golden heart is a symbol of true love and romance. It represents honesty, fidelity, a lasting union, and a rekindling of affections. You will attain your heart's desire. So yes, I feel like for some of you, like this love could happen possibly fairly soon. And this is somebody who's going to be very true and honest, even though it's like they might almost seem like a player or something like that. It's like, no, they are honest and true. It's just like, it's just part of their personality. Again, they're flirty, but it's just how they are. They don't necessarily mean to be that way. So, and again, good cheer. With kind heart and humor free, my good cheer rules, so mote it be. This is somebody who has a lot of good cheer. Again, they love to have a good time. They're very humorous. It's like, this is what this person is all about. They're almost like a ray of sunshine to be around, because they just have like, again, they can get along with anybody. We also have the Wiccan read with ethos. And so this is particularly talking about, So with it, it's talking about, raise your standards, adopt some ethics, understand the importance of the threefold law and the principle of cause and effect. Live by the Wiccan Rede. It will change your view of the world. Your situation is a result of past actions. Open your heart and trust. I feel like this is somebody, it's like they need to be, your future spouse needs to be very trusting. They need to realize that their past actions can sometimes come back to bite them in the butt, because they weren't, living with integrity. They weren't following their own set of rules sometimes. This is somebody who needs to make sure they have a clear set of rules to follow, or else they can be like wild child and just kind of go off the Richter, I feel like. On that note, we also have card 13 here with financial constraints. So let's see, what is this card talking about? Although, okay, honestly, like the message that I'm getting from this particular card without even looking at like the specific meaning of it is, this is somebody, again, they're very good cheer, they're very generous, and sometimes they give too much. They spend too much. They need somebody who's going to be, again, their rock, that's going to help them. This is somebody who's like kind of a free spirit, and so they need somebody who's going to like keep them grounded majorly. So with financial constraints, it's talking about restrictions concerning money. This card shows an old-fashioned safe with little money but lots of cobwebs and dust. Money may be tight at this time, so rein in your spending and be circumspect about the financial requirements in your life. This is not a time for indulgence. Again, I was saying that message of like, oh, this is somebody who wants everything. So it's like they give into indulgence a lot. And so the question that this card poses, it's about like, so be aware of what's really important and consciously choose your expenditures. There's a big difference between what you need and what you want. This card is telling you to take care of your needs and bide your time. Things will get better, but for now, be willing to live more conservatively and always value the money and the good things you already have. So this is something this is something this person's going to struggle with. And so you might need to be kind of their guiding light in that regard. So next up, we have a card that I pulled to kind of represent their shadow side. And so we have courtesy, see? Thoughtful, polite, good manners. Again, very like great at hospitality, but they're like Red Riding Hood. It's like she trusted the big bad wolf and got eaten because of it. So it's like this person needs to be aware that there are people who are going to take advantage of their goodwill. And because if they're like in the limelight, if they're very successful, it's like money comes easily to them. Like that's not an issue. It's keeping the money that's the problem. And part of that is because they're too giving to the wrong people, I feel like. So let's get more in depth with this particular card. So these cards have a blessing side and a curse side. So I'm going to read both. And so, thinking of others creates flow, and the energy shall return to you. In the power of 3 by 3, beauty and grace create harmony in social interactions. So that's the blessing side. The curse side is thoughtless actions can embed the flow of energy, waste time, and create negative potential. It may seem strange, a vampire speaking of manners, when they so often have been known to take life, but they have often not done so. And they have also made friends and allies amongst those who were once most opposed to them. This is because they are charming, their manners are often delightful, and they are able to speak with heart and truth. But to see the beauty within all, and the need to address that, learn manners for the new places you are going, and be courteous as well as truthful. So, kind of that message of being trustful, being truthful, making sure like this person always has good manners. But again, it's like I feel like the dark side here is like they can be too good mannerly, or it could be the opposite where it's like they have no manners at all. Like it's kind of like a switch that gets flipped. It just matters on the circumstances and like how much indulgence they've taken part in, if you catch my drift. So and lastly, we have the archetype cards I pulled in regards to your future spouse, and what a contradiction we have here. So we have the femme fatale, and then we have monk and nun. Monk or nun. So the light attributes for the femme fatale is highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Shadow attributes are inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. And then with the monk and nun, the light attributes are selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Shadow attributes are negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. Interesting. So, it's just so contradictory. But yeah, this person, it's like they know how to work it. They know how to work their energy with that femme fatale. And so it's like, again, they have to know how not to use it inappropriately. Again, they might have a very strong attachment to money, and that's why they can have such a hard time keeping the money, because they're so worried about if they have it. With the monk and the nun, it's like selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Like this person is once they're like set their mind on something, they're very dedicated to it. Whatever spirit is to them. It's not necessarily, I feel like for this person, your future spouse, it's not necessarily like a religious thing, a religion, like that kind of spirit. It's more like what resonates with their spirit. What is it that they're passionate about? That's what they're dedicated to. Okie dokie. So that is all the messages that I feel like I'm getting from this pile. So if this reading resonated for you, please do leave a like on this video. Comment down below what you thought about it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification if you do not want to miss any future videos. If you're interested in getting a personal reading with me or me and my Pisces twin, that info is always down in the description. So thank you all so much for joining me for this reading, and I will see you in the next one.